everyone. Welcome back to RTS, and again today, record the story. Yes, we're still working on the load challenge. I'm still doing a lot of scrapbooking and having fun. So let me show you something. Look at my stack of finished pages so far for the load challenge. Is that just not like, oh, you couldn't pay me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars for that stack. I'm just enjoying this load, having fun. Alice is giving us fun prompts. So today is day 20, and the load prompt today was the ice bucket challenge, meme, that type of thing. So the prompt was, you know, of course, if you were involved in the ice bucket challenge, you could scrap that. If you've done something for charity, something that's near and dear to your heart. And the technique prompt is to use blue, you know, anything that represents ice or water and that type of thing. So I thought, what am I going to do? And very quickly came to my mind was this water park that we visit when we travel. And so my little girl loved this place. And there's a bling from yesterday. Don't you just love finding things from a previous page? Sometimes they're attached to yourselves. I wonder if that came off a layout. Now see, that'll bug me because I don't want to be missing something. It sure did. Look at that. I know exactly where that goes. I do not like losing things on my page, which is probably why you should put them in page protectors when you're done. But I like looking at them for a little bit, and then I put them away. So, okay. So I thought, okay, ice bucket, water bucket, this is what we're going to do, water park with this huge bucket that would spill over. And there's my little Durrell right there. Oh, okay. Now, would I have scrapped these photos? Well, here's the thing. This had been on my story list. So today's prompt is helping me get one of my stories done that was on my story list to do. And it was our love of this water park. And so many wonderful memories, and so I wanted to record that. And so today's prompt is just pushing me to get it done. So as far as a sketch today was, I was inspired, and I've been enjoying a sketch inspired series by our lovely Vanessa Bell and Lisa Brooks on YouTube, and so I will link their channels below. And it's for 4 weeks, and then they're holding the challenge until the end of June, so you have plenty of time. And so they have done 3 sketches, and so today when I was watching their video, I thought, this is the one I'm going to do. This is what I had in mind. So I'm going to pick out some patterns, and of course, use some of these small ones. I can just use washi or maybe some some strips of, don't even have time to go look at scraps. I just pulled out a collection and went with it. And it was easy to pick out a summer collection because summer collections usually have the same color palette, so it's easy to pick out a summer collection. And so that's what I went with. And so, you know, I don't think I'm going to put the twine on. I don't know if that would kind of go with my water park feel. So I don't know what I might substitute for that, or just skip it. So yes, I'm just going to pick out 3 or 4 patterns, and I know I'm going to mat this, and I might have to mat my photos. So that's what we're going to do with. Here is my inspiration, or these photos here. This is my original photo. This is what I got from the internet, and I think it looks a little pixelated, but my daughter said to run with it, and so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, yes. Okay, so we're going to pick out papers, and I'm using the Simple Stories I Heart Summer collection. And why do I have so much? Well, let me tell you a little story. The reason I have so much of this collection is because I bought duplicates. And did I mean to? No. So this was one of those situations that made me start thinking about my shopping habits. And yes, this was, what year was this? 2013. So this was the beginning of the start of as to why my shopping habits, and it was been in my brain for a while. And the reason was because this year, in 2013, I bought 2 collections twice. And I thought, oh, okay, so I'm either shopping too much or I'm not paying attention. And so whenever I see this, do I think, oh, this is a wonderful collection? No, I kind of feel bad because I had ordered it twice and I didn't mean to. But, you know, you move on. So I'm going to enjoy it. But that's why I have so many papers. I didn't mean to buy 2 of this. But my shopping habits, I think, was a little, I don't want to say out of control, but haphazard. That's what I'm going to say. So that started my whole thinking of spending on scrapbook supplies, and now, fast forward to now, why I'm on a spending freeze. So this was the start of that thinking process, and I'll talk more about that later. Okay, so what am I going to do? Has to be a fast page. Do I feel like cutting any of these cut aparts? But I will tell you, after watching so many of Laura Whitaker's videos, she can take these and turn it into anything. Not just cutting out the motifs, but just using, you know, the borders for scraps and layering. And so I just don't think I'm up to that today. But I do like that keep calm and soak up the sun. Oh, yeah. Where would I put that? I could put that down there as an embellishment, couldn't I? Well, okay, then that made the choice. And, okay, so I'm going to keep flipping through. And I know I'm going to need a mat. So here we go, right off the bat. Am I going to do the turquoise? Well, you know what I need to do. I need to find my mood and feel pattern first, which will be this main pattern right there. Okay, so we're going to keep on moving on because, okay. Oh, does anybody else have trouble scrapbooking on the weekends? I don't know if it's because we have mom duties and wife duties. I don't know what it is. I wondered why this felt different. And I love this paper when it came. And you know what I did with this? I had put some extra paper on the back. And I had put removable adhesive. And I had this on a canvas. And it sat in my kitchen for one summer. And so I do that sometimes with iconic pieces. I will just put removable adhesive and I will stick that on a 12 by 12 canvas and I'll just stick it up, prop it up on a shelf somewhere. So I had that up for a while. So I wondered why that felt different. Now that don't even look like summer, but that sure is pretty. Okay, I have this red. I do like this red. Oh, and see, I had a turquoise. Now I have a red. Oh. Now that would be a nice matte. I like simple stories, but sometimes their distressing kind of gets muddy and dirty. I know I shouldn't say that, but I need to come back to one of these mats. Oh no, this is a fun sheet. And since my little girl was actually little, so I was looking 2003. Wow. 2003. So what should be 6 or 7 years old? So I could definitely get away with one of these more kiddish pages. And so, you know what? This might be that might be my mood and feel right there. And I will tell you, I have trouble using this size. And I don't know why I buy them. Of course, I bought, well, no, there's Hey There Sunshine. Oh, sun-drenched days. See, because you're getting drenched. Now, see, that might be something that you could cut off. Okay, see, now I'm going to get too many papers. But, you know, when an inspiration hits you, you have to run with it. Okay, now that's a little, now that would match that bucket. That would match that bucket, but I have an idea to get that feel of that bucket. So I'm going to skip that. And I know that the back, you know, this is the B-side because I bought 2 of these. Ugh, you know, don't you just like, well, no, there's something that has all the patterns. But then you get with this type of thing. See, it gets to be too much. Because if you're going to pick this as a pattern, you better use this in very small quantities. But you know, I could get... Do I pull that out as well? Okay, well, you know, if it's laying there, I mean, I have to use it, right? Keep on moving. The brown, that's not the right brown. Break out the flip-flops. Oh, that's too cute. Oh, every summer has a story. You know I like that. And there's some fishies I could cut out. Okay, well, wonder if I have fishies on a sticker sheet. But those fishies would be cute. But then, you know, you kind of got the fishy there. Oh, okay, moving on. Quick choices, quick choices. Black's not going to go. That is too much of a same scale. You see what I mean? That's too much of the same scale. Your eye doesn't know which one to focus on first. So that's a no-go. Nice collection, nice papers. But like I said, sometimes with simple stories, their papers get a little dirty looking. I'm a light and airy type person. Floral, that's not making it. Heart's not making it. So I'm getting, you know, for as many papers I had. Oh no, this would be nice. You could layer that on something. Sunshine, blue sky, summer at the beach. That turquoise would look good. What did I find there? That keep calm and soak up the sun at the beach. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're getting there. And I don't feel that this goes with the collection at all. It looks too white to me, but moving on. Surfboards, that would be cute. And so you see what I mean? I just go quick because I could get lost in the paper process. No kidding. I could get lost there for an hour or two, especially if I'm watching a video. No joke. But that's the fun part. So like I said, these are very similar in scale. So I'm going to have to, if I use that, it's going to have to be on a small scale. And I'm going to just use these as, so what did I not do? I did not pick out a mat or something here for the bottom. Oh. Okay, well, what I have to get a solid. Okay, well, here we go. Back to the solids. Because, you know, I want a mat. And, okay, here we go again. So you're seeing the process, but I'm going to do this. The turquoise won't work. The red, okay, possibility. Moving on. That yellow is no. So we're going quick, going quick. That's just not the mood and feel I want. I want something bright. And you know what? I think that's my only options. Well, hello to mama. Okay. I guess the red was going to make the cut. The turquoise I can't because that's already got turquoise background. So this is what I'm working with. I really kind of wanted an orange. Oh, does it really matter? Just keep on moving on. Keep on moving on. Okay. It's going to be colorful anyway, so no fret. But see then, now this is what will bug me. I have planks here and I have planks here. What's the B side? See, that's white. That, to me, does not go with the rest of the collection. But then I just said in an earlier video, I'm mixing ivory and white. You know what? Do you think I could get away with putting this on the bottom? Oh, I'd really have to strategically. Okay. I don't have time to think about that right now. I just got to pick out some choices. And I already know that this mat's not going to work because I can't put a plank on top of a plank. So that means a ivory cardstock. Okay. Okay, let's pull one. Let's get an ivory cardstock. Okay, I never have that far from hand. Okay, that's my basis. I'm going to have to wing one of those. But, you know, it's colorful. Okay, we'll wing it. We'll pull it all together. Okay, so there's my sketch. And again, I will have the links below for Vanessa and Lisa's sketch-inspired series that they're hosting right now. And, you know, if you work on the sketches and you notify them where you have posted your layout, you can get in on some prizes. So sign me up. I'm there. Thanks, girls, for doing a great series. I'm having fun watching them. Because Lisa is doing 2 pages. And she's doing 2-page layouts. And Vanessa's doing the 1-page. So I thought it was a really fun idea for a series. They are really doing a good job with that. It's fun how to see someone will take a 1-page sketch and turn it into 2-page. And then vice versa. And that's exactly what Vanessa and Lisa are doing right now in their series. So go check them out. Okay, so what am I going to do for a title? Well, this was not hard for me because when I saw this bucket, it looks like bamboo. And so I always pull out these. Anytime I do a lot of beach, these are never, and I think I have 4 or 5 of these. So that was an easy choice. And so then also I have all these strips. I have all these strips on here. So, you know, I just pulled out some washi. And actually, I pulled out several washies because I'm trying to make quick decisions and I didn't want to lollygag. And I just, whatever was in my bin in those colors, I just pulled because I knew it had to be around these colors. And I like these anchors. There's my yellow. I could get in with that. And that, look, I don't have very much left. And that's my last roll. This is by Glitz Designs. They're not even in business anymore. Oh, wow. Okay, moving on. Don't you just like when companies go out of business and they were your favorite companies? So, okay. So that's my choices. And I definitely wanted to get some anchors in there. Which made me, when I saw those anchors, made me think of these anchors that I got at Hobby Lobby last year. So I thought they would be cute. I could get that pop of red in again. Maybe to tie that in. And then I got these at Tuesday morning when I was actually traveling last summer. So, you know, the pink won't work, but maybe some of the other ones would. You know, again, I just put things to my left, to my right, and when I'm looking, then you have options, because I don't want to get out of my seat when I'm making a fast page. So then what else I did? I just grabbed some 12 by 12 sticker sheets, and the only reason I had these together is because I'm working on a Myrtle Beach album. And so I already had this in my kit that's actually on my desk in another section. So I just pulled them very quickly. Lots of options for my clusters and word stickers, and don't you just love summer lines? No, October afternoon. You know what I'm actually keeping this for? Is that in Disney, they have that Swiss Family Robinson attraction, which some people think it's terrible. I think it's great. I love it. I don't know why, but when I see that, it makes me think of that every time. So that's what I think I'm going to... Well, I know. I keep holding on to that because I think I need to do that. Oh, maybe we should have a Disney series on this channel. Wouldn't that be fun? So again, these just lots of options. And so I have them to my right. And you know, I have my foam tape. And look how much of that roll I have used. Go back to my first video and look. Now look. I have used a lot. Used a lot. Okay, so there's my paper, my sketch, my title, which that's easy. And I also had these laying. And what made me draw my eye was these orange pieces where I see happy, so very happy. Oh, look at this. Happy, happy, so very happy. Oh, this was fun. There's that arrow. And you know what? Wouldn't that work good? Because right there's my little girl. And because I didn't want to put a frame. Sometimes I like to do a frame so you could draw your eye into the people you want to see. But because my photo's so small anyways, and I want to see all of this because it changes. It's already changed. And that... right there. I could point right to her. Is that not perfect? Yes. Yes. That's staying right there by my desk. Well, you know what? I better stick it someplace where I don't lose it. Because these little pieces get lost. So that's what I do. I just stick it on the back of that and then right there. So I just have them. But I do like that happy. Like, what that guy from Duck Dynasty. Happy, happy, happy. So, okay. You know, okay, just some layering pieces. Oh, was that awesome? See what I do? I'm getting stuck, moving on. But I do like that. So, you know what? I'm going to lay that out. Even if I don't use it, it's an inspiration maybe for a subtitle. Oh, I just love looking at pattern and color. Good times. Well, there's that green. Okay. And look, this is Simple Stories. This is Jilly Bean. This is not summer. This is like a spring teacup. I don't even know what it was called. And like, you know, a female happy tea time type thing. And this is summer. And then all goes together. Mix and match and mix and match. Okay, I think that's it. I need to get cracking because I think the sun may pop out today. And you know what that means? Yard work. So I need to get cracking. Okay, I will be back with my finished page. Okay, I'm back with my finished page, and it was a quick page, and because it's a simple page, and I went by this sketch that was given by Vanessa and Lisa, and the links will be below. They are having a challenge with their series called Sketch Inspired, and it's really, really fun. So this was the one they're working on today, so I hopped right along and was playing with them, and I encourage you to look at their series and submit a sketch. And you can just tell them wherever you have it located, and you can get in on some prizes. So do that. You have till the end of June. And thanks, ladies, because it's a fun series. I hope you do it again soon. So, with my papers. Okay, I went with my Mood and Feel, which was the little fishies. And you know, it's kind of childish in a way, as far as it's a little cartoony. But when you're working with younger kids or a lighter subject, this is perfect. So that's why I chose that. And I had the red wood plank in the bottom. And remember I had a little issue with having a plank on top of a plank? I did something with that. So I'll tell you that in a minute. So what I did was I gutted my cream cardstock. Okay. And I used that extra piece to mat my photos, and I created this grid. Okay. Oh, I just love that. Love that. So what I wanted to show was, and I have like 3 tips, so this might get a little long, I'm sorry. And excuse my nails, I did hours of yard work today, so they're not in the best shape, but we will go forth, right? Who cares? No one's looking at my nails. We're looking at my page. Okay, so when you're starting to cut and trim and mat and have fun, and you start to get these rough edges, okay? Now, some of you already know why that is, okay? But when I first started scrapbooking, I thought it was something wrong with my paper. There's nothing wrong with the paper. It's time to change your trimmer blade, okay? And trimmers is a whole nother topic in and of itself, but I'm just going to talk about for us that's still using the trimmers with these blades, okay? So when you start to get these rough cuts and you start to see these paper fibers, it's time to change your trimmer blade, okay? So one thing you can do if you have your trimmer blade, and this is the one I just took off, you can take a nail file, and I'm not sure if they call what they call this. I'm not into nail art, but it's a gritty. It says coarse 100 grit. It's a nail file. So what you can do to extend your trimmer blade just a tad, it won't like take it back to new, but you can take your trimmer blade, go back and forth on this nail file, and this will give you a little bit more use. Like I said, it doesn't take it back to the beginning, but it extends this trimmer blade for a little bit longer. So that's a fun tip. I learned that from a crafter. She wasn't even a scrapbooker, and I was like, yes, 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 sign me up. And I'm trying to figure out another way. There has to be something else we can do to extend these trimmer blades because they get costly. And I buy the ones that I think they're called titanium. They're supposed to last 3 times as long. I don't know. Yeah, I have my paper here. What does it say? Okay. They say they are, well, that's not even on there. Well, anyways, you know, you can buy 2 different type of blades, and one of them are supposed to last longer. I'm not going to say if they do or they don't. I scrapbook a lot, so trimmer blades, I go through them pretty quick. But using that nail file, you can extend them a little longer. The other tip I wanted to say on trimmer blades is when you take an old one out, okay, mark it with a Sharpie or a slick writer with some X's and keep that little guide on there and put this somewhere near your trimmer, near your desk, and use this one that's marked with the X's or something, and use that in your trimmer when you're cutting glitter paper or really any kind of paper that has a thicker texture or that has any kind of coarse treatment. And I also will pull out this blade, this old blade, when I'm cutting magnetic sheets, when I'm using it for die storage or anything like that. So, or like a heavy cardboard. You want to use an old blade because a new blade will get ruined so quickly, especially glitter paper. Okay, so any paper with a treatment or anything thick, you want to pull out an old blade and just mark it as old. Okay, so that's just a little tip there, you know. Anything to save some money, right? Yes, especially on blades. Who wants to spend money on blades? Not me. Okay, so let's go back to this photo grid. And what I did was, I'll bring this a little closer, I took my photos and I just made them in this grid form. And whenever you have extra spaces in your grid, just fill it with things. I'll show you that in a minute what I did with that. So what I wanted to show you, remember I had that one photo that I took of this water bucket, and I said it looked a little pixelated? It looked a little wonky, okay? And I really wasn't happy with it, but my little girl said, just go with it. But I just wasn't happy with it. So I had, at the same time, I had printed off a smaller one, and I thought it was clearer. So you know what I did? I took the one that was, you know, not so great, and I put foam tape on the good one, and I stacked them. And doesn't that bring emphasis to really what my whole story is about, is this water bucket? And so I do that every so often. If you have a photo that the size you want, but it's not in the great shape, and that's what I did. This one wasn't the best shape. This was the better photo. So I just stacked them, and all I simply did was use foam tape. And look at this foam tape. Yes, I'm getting to the very end of it. Actually, it probably should just go in the trash because, you know, that's probably what's going to happen. But yes, I'm using that foam tape. So what else did we do? I wanted to give that tip, and I'll see if you can see that. See, it has dimension. I don't know if you can see that. And all that is foam tape. And so it's not exactly centered because right there is the same thing in the photo. But I got to put some glue there. Oh, yeah. Okay. But doesn't that give a nice effect? You still have that size because that's what I wanted, but this was the clearer photo, and I just stacked it using foam tape. I love doing that because I really wanted that size. Okay, so back to this photo grid. Remember I said I was going to use that one cut apart? No, I sure did. It was this cut apart right here. It says keep calm and soak up the sun. Well, guess what? I took that one cut apart and I cut it here for this like subtitle. And then I cut the sun part out off the same cut apart and I used it in my grid. So I used that one cut apart in 2 different ways. And then of course, you know, when you're doing a grid, you're always going to have some empty space. And I just took some washi and put it on some cardstock and cut it down. And it was this washi here. It kind of looked like bubbles. And since you're dealing with water, I wanted to emphasize my mood and feel again. And that was with some water bubbles. Okay. So speaking of washi, remember I pulled out this whole massive array and I only used 2, but that's okay because I didn't, maybe I would have ended up using 4. I wouldn't have had to go get them. So it's okay to pull out more than you use. You have choices, you have options, right? That's how I see it. So I think that was it as far as the photo mat and the stacking, and then the cut apart, using that twice. That was fun. And then, of course, remember I said I had the wood plank here and the wood plank here. And I was like, you know, so you know what I did? Underneath this cream cardstock, I matted it again with this dark yellow wood plank. So there I have it 3 times. So, you know, 3, odd number. That's what I did. Okay, so for my title, you know, I used this font, this sticker that I just love. It looks like, it reminds me of bamboo. And I put in the title, Water Bucket Babe. And oh, I love how that turned out. And I just did some layering there. And then I took this fish that was on one of my sticker sheets, put some foam tape, and I made sure I made it interactive as far as the fin went into the title and his tail overlapped. And that's just how you can get them when you overlap. It just makes it seem as it was intentional, and it's also one big area, one big cluster. Anything you can do, especially if a cluster, if you can tie it in with your title, it really helps an overall design. So let's talk about the fishies and these beautiful little water bubbles. Okay, and I have to do something right now because it's bugging me. And see, this is what I do when I'm done with the page. If I see anything that pops up, see this is going to pop up. Well, that's popping up too much. See how this pops up? That's where I know to put some glue. And I'm just going to do that right now because I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Okay. So you get this top on. The older you get, the harder those tops are to put on. Okay. So let's get back to the fishy scene. So you see I have this Mood and Feel paper was the fishies, and I have it up top here. And I said, you know, maybe I could add some fishies later. And you're going to say, well, you don't have any fishies down here and you don't have any of these water bubbles, which are AKA rhinestones. And I wanted to emphasize as to why sometimes I don't repeat things. In this case, this Mood and Feel paper, the fishies, is a scene, meaning you're seeing like, think of a backdrop of an aquarium, or you know, you're seeing the scenes of the fishies and the water bubbles. So if they're up here, if the fishies are up here, then it wouldn't make sense the fishies are down here. Okay, does that making sense? So you want to keep, when you're creating a certain scene, and you know the scene here is my fishies and the water bubbles, then you keep your elements within the scene. So down here I don't have any water bubbles and I don't have any fish. Okay, and you know, sometimes we'll say, well, repeat the same thing in your clusters that you have up above. But in this case, my Mood and Feel paper is a scene. And so I have the fishies and the water bubbles that I use with rhinestones. And why I came up with that idea, when I was looking at the paper, whenever I have fishies, I always try to use, and in this case, it was already on my pattern paper. I just went by what it had. See, it had the bubbles. So I thought, well, you know, we're talking about water, so I just use these clear rhinestones as bubbles. And then over here, anytime there was a little dot, I just added one of those rhinestones. And I went according to size. See, there's large, medium, and small. And I just went according to what was already on the design. How quick is that? And then also, too, when I added this fishy to, you know, tie in my title, I think there might have been a spot for one. And I just added a couple extra because, you know, it's that fish And there's his little water bubbles. So I love doing that when I'm playing with fishies and water. Use these rhinestones as little bubbles. And like I said, it was already on the paper, so it just inspired me to do that. That's a fun thing. So that's why you will not see any rhinestones or fishies down here, because up here is a scene. And so you want to keep all your fish in one area, right? Okay, I hope that makes sense. So, okay, my journaling, I just added down at the bottom. And one thing about my journaling, again, I had turquoise here, turquoise here. I needed it down here to create that visual triangle, so I did my journaling in turquoise. And one thing I want to show is when you're dealing with photos that are older, but you're talking about them today. And I struggled with this for a while, several years ago, because I'm like, how do you date that? And then where are you going to store that? So the way I corrected that for myself, and you can do it however you want, it's just how I do it, is that I'll put in my journaling at the end, I'll put photo July 2003, and then I put like a slash, and I'll put journaling May 2018. Okay, so that way I have both represented. I have the actual photo date because that's important to me. And then also too, I want to know when my reflective journaling was done, which is this month, May 2018. So that's how I do it. I put them both on there. So then someone will say, okay, now since the photo was in 2003 and my journaling is in May 2018, where will you put this? For me, I will put it where my thought process is. And so my journaling is right now. That's where I'll put this page because I'm talking about it as I feel right now. So I will put it in my 2018 album, not 2003. And I did wanted to tell you, remember I had this arrow. It said this was fun and I wanted it to point to my daughter. It was too big. And it kind of got into this photo and I just didn't like that, so I just used one of those rhinestones because, you know, she's in water. So again, the little fishies and the bubbles, right? I love when you use product to emphasize and to convey your story. I just love it. So leave a comment below when you're dealing with a layout that has photos from 1 year and you're talking about it like now. Where do you put that in your albums? Do you put it according to your photo or according to your journaling, or do you just still not even put them in albums? You know, I have a huge stack of that too. I'm right there with you. So I like to know how other people do things too. So I think that is it, other than I am 20 for 20. Yes. Can I make a heart? How do they make hearts? Yes, I'm 20 for 20. That looked like I don't know what that looked like. Maybe I should have done a fishy. Okay, fishies. Okay, I'm 20 for 20. I'm happy because today is, you know, it's the weekend and I had hours and hours and hours of yard work. So for me to get a layout done, that's a big feat for me. And that's why I love putting forth a challenge for myself, because I wouldn't have done this page today. No, my back's sore. I wouldn't have took time, but that's why I love having a challenge. And so then, of course, with Vanessa and Lisa's challenge, this sketch inspired challenge, go play along, have some fun, get a layout submitted, get your name in for a prize. Again, the links will be below. And I think that is it, other than come back to RTS because you never know what we're going to learn. Bye.